welcome to a new video. And I just wanted to start out this video as how my studio tends to look like, because I have gotten comments of, oh, but your studio is always so clean and so organized. No, this is the natural state of my studio. A huge mess. A huge mess, because whenever I come down here, I'm either quickly running to use an hour time or quickly running to bring something down here because I was painting upstairs with the kids, or I just need to grab this one thing. So it's a complete another mess. However, my problem is that I cannot focus at all when I have huge mess. So before I can do anything, I need to clean my space. So I thought I would do a quick little time lapse of me running around in my yummy, delicious, overgrown, I think it's called a mañanero or casera, something like that. It's from Colombia. My aunt gave this to me many years ago, and it's natural colors, and I absolutely love it. And it's nice and warm, and down here it's so cold, so it's the perfect thing. The only thing is that I need to put something over it so I don't get messy. But so yeah, so let's start a cleaning time lapse. Good morning. So today is Tuesday, January something or other. And I am down in the studio. It's 9 a.m. I'm gonna start working. I have been doing too much computer work, but I still need to continue. I'm trying to redo my website. I tend to do that often. And so I have this idea of the layout that I want, and I need to create headers. And I really wanted to paint my character Franz and maybe the squirrel. I'm thinking about it, but I want to do more like vintage, Victorian frame, maybe. I'm not sure yet. Or maybe just like a spring type little scene with Franz and another one with the squirrel, maybe just like the squirrel's face with the hat and all the little details that I have in the story. So I'm going to be pulling out my little top easel thing that I have to paint on, because I've been having a lot of issues with my neck. I have to be very careful with my neck. I have a problem with it. And I have my chai tea here. You know, this is the only thing that warms me up in the morning. I mean, granted, I need my coffee at 6 a.m. I need it, otherwise I'm not a human being. But this is what I drink after my coffee, a chai tea latte, and it's the ginger in it that just gives me that internal warmth that I seem to lack during the winter months. So I thought, you know, you guys could keep me company as I'm sitting up, and then I can show you guys what I'm painting, okay? Hello everyone, welcome to VoiceOver Christine. I thought that I would chat a little bit with you guys as I'm preparing my space here. I decided to paint sitting instead of standing because I had something on my easel at the moment and I just wanted to leave it there. I tend to leave pieces that are unfinished where they are, either on a wall or on the easel, so I can observe them and see if they're either lacking something or if I should leave them as they are. And this page that I have here, I had drawn previously on. It was just some like vintage woman that I had used charcoal with, and the art graph tailor squares, but I didn't like the direction that it was going in, so I applied a layer of gesso and allowed it to dry. You can still see a bit of it peeking in the background, but I didn't really mind. I was going to use acrylics on top of it, so I was quite all right with it peeking through. I even like it when I can still see some of the old art showing in the background. It gives a sense of depth to it, which is really nice. And so then after pondering what I should be drawing and painting on here, I thought my daughter and we both love this show, Wednesday. I've been a huge Addams Family fan for years. I would fall asleep watching the old Addams Family from Nick at Night when I was a kid and I couldn't sleep, and I would scurry into the TV room and put it on very quietly, and just the black and white images were just so soothing and how they used to talk back then as well. There was like this rhythm to it that I found it so just so calming. And then later, as a young kid, I would say like what 9 or 10 that the family, Adam's Family and Adam's Family Values movies came out and I loved them. I think I would borrow those movies over and over and over again on at Blockbuster. Who remembers Blockbuster? Leave a comment down below. It was one of my favorites, especially the second one where Wednesday goes to summer camp and oh, I was just always a huge Wednesday fan. So when I heard that none other than Tim Burton, who's one of my favorite directors and creators, was going to create this series for Netflix, I was just so happy. I couldn't wait. And I find Wednesday to be such an interesting character and it seems to be quite a role model for young girls and women in the modern world. She's headstrong, she's intelligent, she believes in herself, and she's very loyal. And I think those are all very valuable qualities to instill in women, girls, people in general. So I drew this and I painted this thinking one, my daughter would love to have it, and two, I think it would be quite enjoyable for people that enjoy the show to learn how to paint and draw Wednesday Adams in acrylics. I wanted to add some color. I wanted her to be in black and white. And I love that window that she has in her room where it's half black and white and half with vivid colors. I really, really love it. So I use that as just an inspiration of the background with the colors of the Nevermore uniform, the purple or it's like a bluish purple and the black. So yeah, I didn't want to create the whole design of the window because I didn't want it to take away from Wednesday. So I just did a little fragment of it, but I added all those nice, cheerful, springy colors to contrast nicely with her black and white. And then at the bottom, I decided to add a W with an intricate pattern. And I'm thinking of maybe later adding at the top right corner the letter A also with a design. I'm not sure. I'll have to see. But I truly enjoyed really looking at these Victorian patterns that they would decorate letters with. I would always look at them just like the whole thing and think, oh my God, this is so complex. I don't know how to paint this or how to draw this. But when I sat down to plot it out and draw all the little parts, if you take every single thing apart, it can then become quite easy to create. And you can kind of get lost in all these turns and twists and leaves and protrusions that they have. It was a floral design and I really enjoyed it. So I'll probably be doing more of these. And I think it adds to her, but I think it would frame it nicely if I were to create an A on the top right. So I can go back and do that. That's the good thing about acrylics that you can always add or remove things. Like in the beginning, I hadn't fully painted, as you can see her here, the bottom part of her. I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. That's where her hands are in the reference picture. She has her arms crossed. But since I was thinking this could be a great workshop, I didn't want it to be even more complex with hands because I know hands can be kind of difficult to paint, even for me. If I don't need to paint a hand, I won't. um, I don't know. It's just there's so many moving parts, and if you get one line wrong, then it looks weird. So I decided instead of doing the hands, why not add a letter? And I love typography and fonts, and I especially love everything Victorian. And I thought it was a great combination because she has this Victorian vibe, a Victorian ambience to her. I don't know. It's just it seemed very fitting. But I was having a lot of fun painting with acrylics again. It's funny how when you leave a medium and then you start exploring another one, you kind of forget how much you enjoy it. And
I truly do enjoy acrylics. I mean, I do not enjoy how shiny they are because of that plasticky um, component of it. However, I just love how opaque it is, and I just love how mistakes really don't matter. You can cover everything up, so that it's very freeing to know if I mess it up, I can fix it. There's always something you fix. Well, with a watercolor, if you make a mistake, if you make something too dark, you need to start over, or you need to just accept it and turn it into something else. But acrylics are just more forgiving. I think it's a great place for people who are learning to paint to start out with, because it's like you can paint it completely over. You could just I've done this so many times where I've just painted on top of canvases. That elephant that you see in the top right corner, there was something beneath it, and it gave it this really cool this really cool texture. I can't remember what it was anymore. But I like to do that a lot. I like to take old things and paint on top of them. I really do. I really, really do. It's like giving it a new life, adding a new layer, reinventing it. I mean, you can turn it into something very poetic, but I really enjoy it. And it's like my own little secret of what's laying underneath if I don't forget, because as you can tell, I forgot what was underneath the elephant. But it would be kind of cool in like an art therapy type of sense to write something, like write your fears or write your hopes or write your dreams or your sorrows, and then paint on top of it with black or with a color that you won't see, or even write it in white. So no one knows what is underneath there, but there's a message of hope underneath it, or there's a message of anger, or it could be a very fun way to release something. It's a thought that I've had before of maybe adding words or messages, or just an intention or a dream in my paintings. I haven't done it yet, but it's still something that I think would be kind of cool to do. So, as you can see, I'm dancing there. I tend to listen to music or podcasts when I'm painting. Lately, I've been listening to this one podcast called Once Upon a River. It is a fictional story. I think it's like in the Victorian times, I believe so, of this little girl that becomes alive again. She dies, she's drowned in the river, and this man brings her to an inn, and all of a sudden she's revived. She starts living again. And there are three different people that claim her. I think that she is the one thinks it's her sister, another thinks it's their daughter, and another one thinks it's his daughter. And it's a very interesting and yeah, it's an interesting, good story, good storytelling. I would recommend it. Once Upon a River. So as you can see here, I'm peeling off the tape. I have finished for now this painting. But as I said, I believe I want to add an A at the top right corner. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one.